Welcome back to Absolute Zero. In the last video I gave a deep look about anime and the different facets. If you haven't seen the last video, my recommendation is to watch it first. Today, let's talk about what makes an anime a timeless classic. I'm going to talk about 5 different animes from different eras and break down the uniqueness. Before listing the 5 animes, I'm going to set 4 parameters that I think an anime needs to be a classic, and those are art style, animation, plot, and their impact in the industry. They are not in a particular order, so let's begin. Number 1. Asteroid by Osamu Tezuka. Let's first break down the art style. You can see that it's simple compared to modern animes, but for the 1950s it was revolutionary. You can see the thick and solid lines, the expression of the characters with their big eyes, and a good animation with basic movements and somewhat fluid animation for its time. The plot is simple, your episodic anime with a problem that gets solved in the end of the episode, but what makes this anime a classic is the impact in the industry. Astro Boy started a new wave that gave us the modern anime, and the artists that were inspired by this anime are countless, and for that it deserves the recognition it has. Number 2. Akira by Kazuhiro Otomo. It's a Japanese film that came out in 1988. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and the art style reflects that. A dark and a grim city with a lot of shadows. The characters reflect with their facial expression and small eyes the despair and angriness that fits the setting. The animation is excellent. At the time, animation was limited in the sense that animation companies tried to cut corners with the facial expression and lip movements, something called limited animation. But Akira changed the film industry. It used more than 160,000 animation cells that were computer generated. That helped the film. It gave more life to the characters and helped tweaking things like lighting and lens flare. The plot, it touches the post-apocalyptic theme very good. The storytelling is outstanding, focusing in a theme of liberty and a free will. And from the impact of the industry, is regarded as one of the best animation films of all time. Not only inspired the other animes, but Western movies like The Matrix and Inception. Number 3. Monster by Naoki Urasawa. It's a mystery anime that came out in 2004. It's the least famous anime on the list and one of the most underrated. Let's start with the art style. It's excellent. The setting of this anime is all over Europe, and the main character is a Japanese man, and you can clearly see the difference between the European and the Japanese character. You can actually tell them apart, and that's something the anime sometimes falls into, making characters from different backgrounds look the same. Let's continue with something that stands out from the art style, and is the architecture of the places. It changed from country to country, and they match with the places, and that makes the world more alive and believable. The animation is not the strongest part of Monster, but it gets the job done. But the music is sublime, very good. The plot is where this anime shines, very good. It gets you hooked from the first episode. It's a mystery anime with a few plot twists, and the name fits perfectly the show. The real monsters are not in fairy tales, but in the real world. And finally, the impact in the industry is more part of Urasawa's legacy. As an artist, he's big in Japan and one of the most awarded artists in the industry. Number 4. Spirit Away by Hayao Miyazaki is a Japanese animated fantasy film that came out in 2001. The art style of the film is just beautiful, a lot of details in everything from the character to the world. Very bright colors that gave life to the creatures that are part of this world. The animation is fluid, you can see a full range of emotion in the characters' faces. The transformation of the world is amazing, they made it look effortless. The secret behind was balancing the use of computer programs that enhanced the animation, but it didn't install the core spirit of hand-drawn characters. The plot is about the journey and friendship and discovering yourself. It gave us hints at things like greediness, environmental issues, and spiritualism, and the impact in the industry. It was a huge success, both critically and commercially. It took the United States by storm. It even won an Oscar for Best Animated Picture, making one of the most successful animated pictures of all time. Last but not least, number 5, Dragon Ball Z by Akira Toriyama, created in 1994. The most famous anime in the world, so let's break down the art style. The thing that stands out the most is the characters' faces. You can recognize them. The form and the shape by a mile is unique. The anatomy of the characters are very varied that goes well with the different races that anime presents. Colorful and eye-catching, a world that feels futuristic. All around is unique. Next, we have the animation. It's well made, fast paced, great range of emotion displayed in the characters, and a great soundtrack. The plot, it makes a good job of making you care of the characters. Most of them have a purpose in the plot. The anime is more about the journey than the ending. And the cultural impact, it was enormous, so big that still today is going as strong as ever. Huge rating, everything with Dragon Ball Z logo sells. It may not be the best anime, but surely it's the most famous over the last 20 years. And finally, I'm going to say which anime have the potential to become a classic and you should keep an eye on. And those are My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and Made in Abyss. I think those three have yet to reach their full potential and really have all four parameters to become not just great, but a classic anime. Do you agree with my list? And if not, why? Tell me down in the comments. And list the animes that you think are a classic. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to more content, and as always, thanks for watching.